Hey guys, we're going to be talking about what is the ADX. And hint, there are only 3 lines to remember. Before we get started, let me read the disclaimer. The risk of loss trading any financial instrument such as Forex, binary options, or anything else can be substantial. You must be aware and willing to accept those risks in order to invest. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. This is neither a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell any financial interest. No representation is being made that any account is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to the ones discussed here. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any strategies discussed are for educational purposes only and are not to be construed as specific trading advice. Now, the ADX confuses a lot of people, but I'm going to break it down pretty simple for you here. The first thing we're going to do is delete this yellow line. Why are we going to delete the ADX line when that's what we're talking about? Because we're going to break it down so that you understand it. There's only 3 lines in ADX. There's an up line, which is the blue line. This is the plus DI line. Then we've got the down line, which is the red line. That's the negative DI line. Now, when price is moving up, the blue line is going to be above the red line when price is moving up. So you can see here price is moving up. The blue line is above the red line. You can see here again price is moving up. The blue line is above the red line. You can see over here price is moving down and the red line is above the blue line because the red line is indicating that it is a bearish trend, and it is right here. So the red line's moving down. Now when price gets in this area right here, there's a lot of times people are like, well, what do we do during these times? Well, we're going to bring the indicator back over here and make it yellow again, the ADX line. This is your filter. Now, we already know that when the blue line is above the red line, that it's moving up, and when the red line is above the blue line, it's moving down. What about during this junk here in the middle? Well, the only reason that you should trade is or what people say, I don't care what you do, this is what people talk about. You should only trade when let's say for an uptrend, when the blue line is above the red line and when the ADX line is above 35 or whatever parameter that you want. So let's take a look at it. Okay, let's pretend that price is right here. I opened it up for you a little bit. Let's pretend price is right here, okay, on this line right here. And we see, okay, well, the ADX is, or the blue line is above the red line. That indicates a buy, but is the ADX above there? Well, technically it is. It is moving down. However, these are all subjective things that you have to look at. Here in a minute, I'm going to overlay the tool suite on here that will take all the subjectivity out of it for you. So this could technically be a buy signal, but guess what? Right here, are we going to say this is a sell signal, or are we going to get out of our trade, or what? And then over here, well, price is above the red line, however, or the blue line is above the red line, but the ADX line is not up above the trend line here, the trending line here, which is at a level of 35. Why is it at a level of 35? Who knows? That's where somebody stuck it. You can use whatever you want here, and I'm going to show you that in a second. Now, as price continues to rise here, we see that the blue line is above the red line, and the ADX line just shot up right here. So let's go one step further. Let's add the tool suite. The default is ADX, and if you scroll down, the default is 14 period. The level is 35, which is the same as the 35 level here. And we're going to look at across above the 35 level, with the negative DI and the positive DI aligned. Now, if we do this and we overlay it, hang on. Okay, there we go. I got the settings all set up. So, okay, when you overlay the tool suite onto the ADX, you can see right here it didn't give you a trade. it didn't give you a trade here, and it did not give you a trade here because the blue line was above the red line. However, the ADX line had not closed above the signal line yet. Here, the ADX had closed above the signal line, but the blue plus DI line had dropped down below. So it finally, when this closed, everything was lined up. It gave a signal. Is this a good signal? Is this a good trending signal? We're looking out over how many bars? We're looking out over the next 5 bars. And if you're looking at it like that, no, it's not a good signal. If you do it in reverse, it is, but it's not here because it only wins 40% of the time. However, if you go in here, you can do several things. You can look at long only. Okay, look, I've got a long only trade here that wins only 28% of the time, and it loses 71% of the time. So I'm going to try my hand. I want to reverse that. So right now we're looking at long only, so I want to look at short only instead of long only, and then I'm going to go down here and reverse it. There we go. Now we've got a signal that wins 71% of the time. It's won 12 times in a row and has only lost 2 times in a row, only over the past 35 signals. Now, 35 signals are not ideal. They're not ideal. You want 100 or more, ideally. I have traded from 35 signals before. That's 35 historical signals. But let's go in here and just take a look at it. This is a daily. So we're looking out 5 days. Can you take a binary on that? Who knows? If it's on Monday, yes. But could you trade in and out of them, like taking hourlies or 3 p.m.s or whatever throughout the week? Yeah, sure. Why not? I do it all the time. Okay, so let's go see how these have performed. We're going to scroll all the way to the end. Got a bunch of nothing here, so you don't have any signals. We'll scroll back. Here's a down signal right here, and it won. Here's a down signal, and it won. Here is a down signal, and it came down a little bit. It closed below the ATM line. I'm looking for Forex trades too. Here's one that for Forex it was a total winner because it just shot down when the signal came out right here. It shot down 100 pips like the very next day. Did it close down there? No. But if it goes down 100 pips, are you going to be taking profit? Most likely. Okay, here's one that didn't give you any profit at all. It just came down just a little bit and just reversed on you. This one went down. This one closed down. This is the one that we're talking about. It has a 71% win rate. There you go. Closed down. It closed down. Closed down. It closed down. It went down, came back up, and closed under the ATM line. So you get the idea. This is the ADX, guys. Now, you can change the parameters. If you want to, okay, the ADX that I have down here, this is just, the free ADX I pulled off the web so that I can show it to you lining up with the tool suite. Now, if I want to change the parameters down here, I'm also going to change the parameters up here. For instance, if I want to change in the indicators, I want to change the period instead of being 14, I want to change that to an 8. Now it changes everything, so I'm going to go up here. I'm also going to change this to an 8 period. There we go. Now I have more trades, but the win rate goes down. Go in here, change all the parameters, look at your ADX, pull an ADX up onto the chart, just start going in here and looking at different parameters, looking at different levels, looking at different crosses above, like the DI cross only. That will look at DI and positive and negative crosses only, and it does not take the yellow ADX line into play. You won't see the yellow ADX line. That's just the color that I made it. It's the ADX line now. If you use positive and negative DI cross with the ADX above level, that means that Anytime it fires off a trade, the ADX line has to be above the level. So we've looked at several different parameters. One of them had a 70 whatever win rate. One of them had this one's got a 65. The other one had like a 40% win rate. So there are good parameters and bad parameters. You just have to find them. Go in there, play around with it, see what you can come up with. And that is the ADX. You can go ahead and move on to the next module. Thank you.